Well, hello everyone. This is Andrew McKee back again, and wow, it's I am amazed that I am conscious enough to say hello to you. I just got done with the weekend of Faire, first weekend back at Sherwood, and yeah, to say that it kicked my butt is an understatement. Yeah, you go without doing Faire for a year, and the next thing you know, you're not used to it. A full weekend of craziness. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. So we get that. And hello, Kathy and Kristen. Yeah, she's hurting too from the weekend. So yes, it has been that way, definitely. An interesting weekend to say the least. But yeah, so I hope you had a good weekend and got to rest and enjoy a little bit. I do want to go ahead and shout out a little bit to Jan because I know she's a frequent uh, person on our chat lists at our shows. But yeah, she apparently hurt her leg a little bit, and that's why she wasn't out at Fair this weekend and is not doing so well. So yeah, hopefully, I hope you feel better soon, Jan. And yeah, that's never fun at all. Ha. Okay, and yes. Oh, yeah. Seeing more people saying about it. A lot of people. It was rough. Uh, yeah, the dancing. That's one of the things. I mean, I love the dancing part. I like dancing, but I never get to dance. I'm always playing music on the side. So in that respect, it is a lot easier on me. Totally going to admit that. Um, I, yeah, for dancers, it can be tough. It can be very tough. And Sherwood, it has a great look. It's a great location with a lot of uh, cool trees and everything. Not very flat. So when you're going around, it is a little bit hilly. So yeah, it is a bit more exercise, to say the least. Yes, and yes, and Alicia is right. Totally. If you could go ahead over on Facebook and share the show, give us do us a solid, please, and yeah, go over there and share it and let everybody know what's going on. So a little more fun on Life's Affair. Yeah, don't worry. I got a lot of sleep last night, and I definitely took a nap today, and I think I'm I'm at a good 75%, maybe. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Only partially brain dead, so we're good. But yeah, that is the good thing about Fair, especially when you work there. I mean, it is like joining a gym because weekend after weekend, you really kick your butt. And so, yeah, now that I've got my workout regimen back, so everything is good. Oh, right. So yes, I guess I should start with previous stuff that's happened. I mean, last week, several of you joined us at the Stitch and Bitch Zoom meeting on Thursday night, and that was a lot of fun. More people showed up than I was expecting, and we all got to hang out and talk and enjoy it. And I think it was, yeah, it was a good thing. So much so that pretty sure we're going to keep doing that. Maybe a monthly thing. We'll see. I think, yeah, you'll hear more about that soon, I'm sure. And yeah, it's just a fun thing. And it wasn't just the obvious sewing type thing. It was any creative project, and people were doing different things, and I think it was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, I think we'll be announcing another Stitch and Bitch here. I would imagine probably in the next week or two we'll uh, probably announce another one. Although we do have something pretty crazy coming up this weekend, so it'll probably be after that, I would imagine. Because yeah, we're going to be devoting a lot of our time for that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, that is going to be crazy. So yeah, I guess Sherwood, I do want to talk a bit more a bit more about that. It Going back to Fair is always a crazy thing after post COVID, I guess. And yeah, it was pretty good. I think I had a really good weekend, a fun time, some really cool people I get to hang out with. That's one of the best things about Fair. There are a lot of really great people there who work there and who just come to enjoy it. And that always makes for a great experience, as I'm sure you can imagine. So yes, oh, and wow, they're still going, talking about this. But yeah, yeah. I will say that, uh, well, I mean, I guess let's go ahead and talk about this coming up weekend because what we have here is we are running the Norman Medieval Fairs online show. I mean, we are streaming that out, and it is pretty crazy. It's going to be, as of now, I believe it's 3 days: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it is going to be really, really crazy. A lot of great groups and great stuff to see. And I've started going through all the videos. They're finally all in and everything's good. So that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of this week, getting some of that together. And all of us are going to be working on that. So, yes, something exciting there. It is going to be several days of that. And if you're not familiar with Norman Medieval Fair is it's a short fair in Norman, Oklahoma that is huge. You know, normally you have those fairs that go on for 8 weekends. No, not this one. But the numbers on the weekend it's open it's just crazy. It's been that way for a long time. It's been open for several decades, and it's one of those old school fairs that has been going on for a while and a lot of fun. I've always heard great things about it. So when we got with them to put this on, it was a great pleasure. Very interesting and just a good thrill. So I think you're going to like it because, it's fair. And you can't say bad things about that. Yes, and Alicia's totally right. RSVP to the Norman event. She provided a link in there, so definitely check that out. Always good stuff. And if you're going to Sherwood this weekend, cool. Go. You can check out the Norman Fair later, or you can go back and forth. Totally understandable. I'm just getting everything set up for the most part. I'll be running things, the stream on Friday, but over the weekend I'll be at Sherwood. So I'm just getting everything set up, and we'll have other people running the stream during that time. But don't worry, it'll still get the Andrew McKee seal of approval and quality control, so we'll be good. We will be good. Yeah, and Leisha's right. Depending on who you ask, it's been going on since 1977. So yeah, it is, like I said, several decades. Definitely. Longer than I've been doing Faire, which I'm okay saying. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, run it without Andrew. It's not that bad, Alicia, because, like I said, I'm getting everything set up. It is going to be as easy as humanly possible for my end. Pretty much all they're going to have to do is hit a button and say start, and then just watch it to make sure everything goes smoothly. I'm going to make it that easy. It is going to be great. Don't worry. It's going to be wonderful. I promise. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. And I'm going to have to find some time at Sherwood to take a pause and go backstage and check in and make sure everything's going okay, because I'm just going to be paranoid. It's going to happen. So I'll check in. But it'll be great. Don't worry. We will get everything finalized. And I will be running things on the Friday stuff because I will be here. So that'll be a good test and make sure everything's working smoothly. Which is great because, that way we can make sure all of the stream keys and everything they're all set up correctly, and there's no problem. So if that works, Saturday and Sunday should work fine. Yeah, and honestly, I am going to be doing some stuff I've never done before. Normally, how I do streams is I set them up in segments, and everything is when one part ends, I manually go to the next part. And that way, if I need to change anything during the show, I can go do it back and forth or rearrange things. And however, I mean, it gives you a lot of options. This time, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm automating it, where it's going to automatically go to the next section. You can manually change that if you want to. So y'all will have that option. But it is, don't worry, it is going to go fairly automated this time. I'm familiar with it. I've actually never tried to do that before, so this will be fun. string cheese being lined up. That's great. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. Like I said, I am really tired right now. Mondays are usually my brain dead day after Faire, but I'll be better next week because just this weekend was a real kick in the butt. It really was. Oh, mercy. Okay. Well, I'm really excited for Norman, so definitely pay attention for that, and events will be popping up, and you'll see a lot about that during this week. And check out our Thursday show because that will be a wonderful preview show for the weekend. So, yeah, and don't worry, I'll be running that. We're good. We're good. So it'll be fun. Oh, Kristen, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I see now you get to see the other side because Kristen, she's gone. This is her first weekend actually working at a fair, and now you know the other side of it. Tons of fun, a lot of work. But don't worry, it'll get easier. I promise. It will. It will. By the eighth weekend, you'll think, "Oh, good, I'm finally comfortable with this," and then it'll be over. That tends to be how it works. Just when you think you got it right, boom. Now you get to wait till next year. Yeah, yeah, 7 weekends of rehearsal, but it is different. I mean, well, okay, I'd actually like to hear your opinion on this, Kristen, because uh, um, I think that the rehearsal is fairly different from an actual show day. I mean, it gives you a taste, but without the audience there, it's like a totally different experience. It's like a jam session versus a concert versus a show for a musician. So I mean, rehearsals are great and they help you get better at what you're doing, but the feeling is different. Really? You heckled me? I don't remember you heckling me. Not really. Oh, well, I mean, you said stuff to try to embarrass me, but that's everybody does that. I don't even think about that anymore. Definitely. So yeah, yeah. So rehearsal was more intense? Really? I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, according to Kristen, the rehearsal is more intense and the actual fair day was longer. Huh. I mean, I get that the fair day is longer, definitely. But I don't know. I kind of, yeah, I actually think the fair day is more intense in a way. I mean, it's more fun, I think, the fair day because you get to just have fun with people and enjoy it more. But I also think it's more intense. But, hmm, okay. Oh no, that sobbing at the dead unicorn. Okay, when I played the unicorn song and she sobbed, that was great. That actually helped the show. So that was not heckling. That was fine. That just that that's just information I can use. It's great for improv, and that's the best part. That is the best part. Okay, well, uh, let's go ahead and jump into 7 reasons since I'm talking about Sherwood, and 7 reasons is about Sherwood this time. Yeah, I mean, I woke up from my nap and thought, oh, I need to say something about 7 reasons. So I thought, let's do the 7 reasons the first weekend back at Faire was awesome because there's a lot of cool things that happened at Faire. And last week I said about why it's going to be great to be back at Faire, and I mean, they're all very valid, and I think they were true. But there's always those special things at Faire that you don't think about, or surprises that make it great. So I wanted to do that. So yeah, so let's do our new 7 reasons why the first weekend back at Faire was awesome. Okay, number 7. Number 7. The Faire kept things safe. I mean, it's the first weekend of Faire for a lot of us, and you're wondering how is it going to be with the masks? How everybody's spreading out? How is that going to work? And I gotta say that the Faire did a very good job. I was impressed, and by Faire I don't mean just the management, although they did do a very good job, I think, but the staff and cast and everybody involved really came together and I think did a phenomenal job. Kristen being one of them. I saw her dealing with that multiple times and doing a phenomenal job, and we all appreciated that. It was great. I Was it perfect? No, but adjustments were constantly made, and I they were trying hard, and I really felt good about it. And I think every day is going to be better than the previous one in that regard. So really, kudos to them. A very good job. Yeah, yeah, and those numbers, uh, yeah, there's numbers that they make sense to me. Kristen is saying there was over 7,000 on Saturday and about 3,000 on Sunday, and yeah, and there was some rain on both days, and I think that kept a few people away. So I think it probably would have been more, but I think those numbers worked great, and yeah, yeah, I'm very happy with that. And all things considered, y'all did a great job. So yeah, yeah. Um, I know there were some incidents, Kristen, and I know it was hard on you, but I mean, it's an uphill battle. It's always going to be. And considering what you were up against, I think y'all did a phenomenal job. And I know I know it's going to get easier. At the very least, everybody will get more comfortable with it, and everybody will have your backs. So definitely. So we really appreciated it. Okay, number six. The sixth reason why the first weekend back at Faire was awesome. Okay, I had a busy, varied schedule. I mean, I was a little worried when I was trying to figure out the schedule, and I realized, oh, the Maypoles, they're not doing those for safety reasons. And there were, I was thinking, I don't know, is my schedule going to be the same, or is it going to feel as much be the same amount of fun that I'm used to having? And I managed to fit in a few other things, so I brought my number of daily activities up to 14 again. So yes, and I do have a little more time in between several shows than I usually do, which means I don't have to rush to the next event, which is kind of nice actually. But no, no, I'm really liking where things are going with it, and it was a good, varied schedule, and I had fun all day, and the day flew by, which that's always to me the sign that it was a great day. If the day goes slow, that usually means there's something wrong. Because if you're constantly having fun, constantly doing things, constantly seeing things, then it's a great day. So yeah, I think a busy, varied schedule, and I loved it. It worked out. It really worked out. Uh, um, yeah, yeah. There is that. So yes, number five, jamming. And what I mean by jamming is playing songs for the first time. Um, yeah, I lost count of how many songs and tunes I played with people over the weekend that I'd never played before. I mean, there were some that I'd heard before, but I'd never tried to play before, and that was pretty wild. I mean, people said, "Oh, here's a new song I wrote," and I would play along. And I know for some people that might sound intimidating or scary. For me, it's invigorating. It's a great challenge, and it's kind of like, okay, instead of playing this song for the thousandth time, I can play something brand new, and just enjoy it and immerse myself into it. Yeah, once you stop worrying about what notes to play and you just enjoy the journey and play what works and have fun with it, it's a great time. So yeah, I love doing that. So yeah, jamming. I was so I was so upset when I first started going to Irish jam sessions, because to me that's not really jamming. They would just they just play tunes that they already knew again and again and again each week. I mean, there's hardly any variation in a lot of them. There are some exceptions, but most they just play basic tunes, and I they looked at me like I was nuts when I brought in this tune that I wrote, and none of them knew, and they were just thought like I was crazy. To me, that's not really a jam session, but I guess maybe I'm yeah, just a different way to look at it. So yeah, anyway, jamming, always fun. So number four, Nomeo and Juliet. I know Kristen knows what I'm talking about. Yes, Nomeo and Juliet. They had a couple out there dressed as the cartoon characters Nomeo and Juliet, and it was awesome. I mean, partly because I reviewed that movie with Shakespeare on Shakespeare Reviews, and we had a great time doing that. But just seeing them, it was it was really hilarious. I tried to get a picture, but unfortunately, it's hard when you're performing to get away and be able to do that. And I looked for them later in the day and I couldn't find them, or I would have grabbed a picture, but they were really cool. So I'm sure that there are some great pictures by some of the phenomenal photographers that frequent the fair. Wow, that was a lot of F's with a lot of alliteration in that sentence. Wow. Yes. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So really good stuff. Oh man. Okay, okay. Yeah, there are pictures of the jackrabbit. Yeah, I took my morning selfie in the morning, and there was the buff bunny, the whole really muscular rabbit that was there, and just who happened to be at front gate before we opened. That's how I always do it. Just say, okay, everybody, come on in, selfie, and we get together. And Kristen got one too, so that was a good one. Uh, yeah, and Drew's been playing. Toolsbury on the soprano recorder. Cool, cool. Yeah, I noticed all the gnomes with the gnome hats and everything, Kristen, which was really cool. But of course, Nomeo and Juliet kind of stood out there a little bit because that was great. And gnome invasion, excellent, excellent. See, there's all these things I just don't hear about during the day because I'm too busy. It happens, but they were awesome, and I know there were pictures of them. There has to be. So if I can find one, maybe in the next few weeks, I'll try to put that up and show y'all. But yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Lee would have been thrilled by that. It was serious, um, a serious gnome time. Yes, a lot of good stuff. So yes, and it's those little things like that that make Fair so special. I mean, you do get to see a lot of outfits and creativity that goes into making those. Um, yeah, I mean, Kristen did that a lot before she joined Cast, actually, and has since she joined Cast, doing her clothes. But yeah, just coming up with cool designs. So yeah, it's really a cool stuff, a cool thing. So okay, let's do number three. The exit surveys were positive. I got to find out today that yeah, I made some of the exit surveys and they were all positive and really cool. For those of you that don't know, exit surveys are when you leave the fair, they have people coming up to different people and asking questions like, "What did you like in the fair?" and just some different questions of pros and cons and all that kind of thing. And those actually matter at Sherwood and some other fairs too. They take it very seriously, where those answers do play a part in decision making later. So yeah, and it's always good when the feedback you get is positive. And so far, yeah, it sounded like mentioned a few times, and it was positive. So that is always great. That is always a great thing. Um, oh, and Crystal says that peel him out of that bunny. He only wears it at Easter. Yeah, well, I would imagine that makes sense. But yeah. I'm sure it was a big hit though, because I mean that was an awesome outfit. That really was an awesome bunny outfit. Yeah, it just. I mean, you no matter what you view on rabbits and Easter, you're gonna laugh at that. That's always a hit. Always a hit. Ooh, new character this weekend? Okay, we'll be looking for that. Good to know. Good to know. That's good. I look forward to seeing that. Okay, number two. Number two reason that the first weekend back at Fair was awesome. History of the recorder. No, no, that sounds pretty boring, right? But I did, I think, 3 or 4 of my shows over the weekend. I didn't plan it that way, but it ended up turning into a history of the recorder type show where I'd play different tunes in the recorder and talk about it and what you could do with the recorder and why I liked the recorder and a bit of history. Too, nothing overly scholastic or anything. I mean, nothing too boring, I don't think. Just had some fun with it. And people really seemed to respond well to it. I mean, would come up while I was doing that and sit down and enjoy it. And afterwards, several people said they really enjoyed that information. They felt like they learned something and had a fun time doing it. And I think I'm going to have to make that a very common part of my show. Um, Generally, I would save it for those relaxed, easygoing shows when there are just a few people. I'd get a little more personal and talk to them a little bit about it, but I may have to do it with some of the larger shows too, and just do that occasionally, maybe once or twice a day, and get that in there. Because I mean, fairs, it's good if you at least learn a little history, just a little. And I think it's important to get some information, to feel like you learned something but had fun doing it. And I hope that did do that, and it seems like it did. So I'm going to keep doing that. I know. They let me go on a rant, and it's really crazy. Oh, right. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely say that Alice de Beauforce, that was awesome, and you liked the character. And honestly, Kristen, I don't see how they could not like the character because the way you're playing it, it's pretty awesome. So I think it's going to work out well. I think that's going to be a staple for a while. That's my prediction, because it is good. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I think recorders, Janine, have a lot of advantages, just like you. It's easy to talk about them without coming across like you're giving a lecture. I try to avoid that, and I think I did. I mean, I get to just give a little history and make it fun history, and that's the important thing. Yes, and as considering I have a guitar, I can definitely say that strings are a bit rough. Um, when I found out it was going to rain in the morning, I did not change my guitar strings out. They were the older strings. I knew they were going to break, and sure enough, halfway through the day on Saturday, one of my strings broke. So I just went ahead and replaced all my strings after that. The rain had stopped. It was over. Didn't have to worry as much about that. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it. Yeah, excellent. Oh, and Zane liked your origin story, Kristen. Excellent. I really think that I really do think it's going to go well because the way you're playing it is really good, and um, yeah, I think especially the way you're playing it and the personality you're putting into that really goes well with Alan Adele, with his character. It's a good sort of almost a yin and yang thing, but not quite. I mean, it's not that opposite. It's just it's different and in a good complementary way. And you're asking me if I broke the string on Bog. Actually, no. You would think, right? No, no. Actually, I think ironically, I broke it during the Unicorn song. If I remember correctly, I think it was during the Unicorn song. Yeah, I wasn't playing it hard. It was just a simple, light strum stuff, and boom. I knew it was going to happen because that weather, not good. And the strings are pretty old anyway. It was time to replace them, but I figured I'd go ahead and get through the bad weather first. uh, yes, yes. Um, and that's a good point, Drew, because I've actually looked at that for a lot of instruments. Out at Fair, weather and accidents and all of that can happen, and you don't really want to accidentally destroy a $500 or $800 instrument. And some of those instruments are expensive. So, like mandolins, I try to find a really good looking, good quality mandolin that doesn't cost too much. And if I accidentally set on it, I'm not going to cry. It's very important. It's very important. Um, yeah, yeah. So yes, it is kind of important to come up with a slightly less expensive alternative because outdoors all day long playing musical instruments in the weather conditions that you have, it's going to wear down those instruments pretty quick. So yeah, you got to try to find that in between. Uh, yeah. Well, I've never accidentally sat on an instrument before, but I know other musicians who have. Not talking about Mark Gunn at all. So yeah, sometimes things happen at Fair. Accidents happen, and yeah, it's just you just worry. I mean, things happen. Sometimes you're standing on next to a building, and all of a sudden a bunch of water just comes down off the edge that was being held up there, and it just gets whatever wooden instrument you have totally soaked. I mean, and you're kind of like, it's never going to sound the same. I mean, things like that happen, and you just have to worry about that and prepare for it. Expect that, if this instrument goes, it's not going to be the end of the world. And that's how you have to do. So yeah, okay. Now the number one reason why the first weekend back at Faire was awesome was I got to play music. Let's just be honest here, because I've played music here online and done stuff and everything, but you know, there's a difference between having a 1 hour show online and playing for somewhere around 8 straight hours. I mean, it's a little different. It is. Um, I, it's just, it's like a day full of music, and partly because of all the work we've all done with Life's Affair and all of that, I haven't done that in a year. Not nowhere close. I try to play as often as I can, but it's still different, and I really enjoy that. I mean, playing music that much, diving in to a pool of musical bliss is how I'll describe it for an extended period of time. Is just so thrilling and relaxing at the same time. Oh wow, yeah, yeah, and sometimes Drew, yeah, he's talking about a situation where he bent a trombone. Yeah, that's never fun. Uh, uh, yes, yes, yes. Um, yeah, for the dancing, I think Kristen is talking about having my recorder in the mix for during dances, and I agree. I mean, uh, I mean, Alan Adele, he does a great job of making the rhythms interesting and trying to sing the melodies a bit while y'all are practicing, and he does go the extra mile there to be totally fair, but it is a difference. I mean, it is sort of like just having it's a one step above having a drum just do a steady beat, which is that's what you need for dancing. Like for instance, if I was just playing the melody and Alan wasn't there, I mean, it would be a different problem. It'd be tough to find the beat now and then. A little more difficult for the dancers to be able to follow that. So having rhythm and melody, it's just such a wonderful, perfect combination. So, yeah, I think it really helps. Yeah, and health to the company too. Definitely, definitely, that's a fun one. But anyway, 7 reasons last weekend was freaking awesome. That's what I said. Freaking awesome. So yeah, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and uh, I'm exhausted, but totally worth it. Totally, totally worth it. So yeah, yeah, and I think really that's most of all we have. I mean, we can talk about the distant future and how in a month we're going to be doing the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games and the Rio Grande Valley Celtic Festival, and we're going to be streaming that. And that's so we're doing a lot more of the event streaming online, and we're going to keep doing that. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, Scottish, Celtic, fair, a little bit of everything. So yeah, yeah, the talking about health to the company and how many times. Yeah, health to the company is it's a bit of a thing at the end of the day. Yeah, and I agree. It was a very emotional time. I will admit though, um, I will admit though, I really didn't cry. It wasn't that type of emotion for me. I was more just like elated bliss. I was just so happy. And I know happiness can sometimes bring tears, but that I didn't quite get that. I went another way with it. I was just immersed in things I love, and I just enjoyed it. I just had pure enjoyment on that. Uh, and yeah, and Alicia's totally right. We are working our butts off. I'm trying to avoid saying, well, I'll be spending the next 12-hour day and that. So there is that. Oh, right. I almost forgot. There is one other thing that I can talk about that is happening now. So I don't know. Some of you might remember last year when we did a few events with Paulo Garbanzo, and related to his Nat 21 gaming session that he does online, his weekly gaming session. And I'm going to be on that for the next several weeks. I'm not quite sure how long, at least 5 or 6 weeks, maybe more. And we are doing that in we are doing that in yeah, just in the middle of Fair, because Paulo is out at the Sherwood Forest Fair, which is great. And I'm yeah, he asked about that, and I said sure. So yeah, we are. I'm going to be a character on that. That will be starting tomorrow night, Tuesday night. So I think it's going to be every Tuesday night is the norm now that they're doing those. So I'll have some more information about that here pretty soon. Try to get that up and promoted tomorrow so that y'all can see that. But yeah, that should be a lot of fun and something to check out if you like gaming. If you don't, well, but it's interesting. Um, I think it'll be fun. Currently, I'm looking at being a gnomish artificer. Artificer? Artificer? I don't know how you pronounce that, honestly. But yes, yes, it will be. That's my character. I think it'll be fun. So, uh, yes. Elated Bliss. Yes. It does sound like a band name, Nancy. I just made up the phrase, so I don't know if that's a common phrase or not. I'm the type of person that likes to put words together that haven't necessarily heard before. So, but yeah, Elated Bliss. I like it. It does have a nice flow to it. Yeah, thanks, Janine. I hope the Nat 21 thing goes well. I think it will. I've gamed with them before with Paulo and all of that, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. I don't think it'll be a problem. I've never played a gnome before, so this will be interesting. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to play it a little. Yeah, I'm going to probably play it as a total obsessive scientific nerd type, and go that. I know it's going to be a stretch for me, but that's where the acting comes in. So we'll see, we'll see. Um, oh, it should be fun. But yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night on Nat 21. So I will I'll have some links for that to that for you. So don't worry. Um, oh, okay. I didn't know Alicia was that much into gaming. I did not know that. So excellent. That is wonderful. Yeah, we'll see. Normally those tend to last several hours. Since Paulo is he's on the road and he's not at home, it may not last as long because I mean sometimes they've lasted like 4 hours, and that might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. Yeah, I'm sure we'll share the video, definitely, and get that going. But yeah, we'll get you a link up. So yeah, great time, great week, great weekend. Some cool, fun stuff coming up. And like I said, we will be working our butts off getting Norman all ready and get it just mwah, as wonderful as possible. So if you're not going to Sherwood, definitely check that out, and I think you'll enjoy it because Norman is not a new fair. It's not a small little fair. They've got some good acts in here, and you're going to love some of them. They are really, I guarantee you, it's going to be a fun time. So check that out, and I will. Uh, Fair enough, Alicia, but there's specific, you never know. Yeah, yeah, Janine, I think that's about right that the regular shows have been running around 2 hours, but I was thinking more about last year where some of them were pretty crazy. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm actually not 100% sure on the schedule and everything. I just know tomorrow evening, and I'm going to know more about it tomorrow, I'm sure. Because, yeah, we're all still trying to recover from Sherwood and get everything together. So I'll be working on and finalizing my character tonight and getting all the details together. So we will see. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, I've watched them on and off, Kathy. So yeah, I've definitely seen some of it, but I haven't been able to follow all the episodes. There sometimes life's affair takes over, and I miss some. But yeah, I have been checking it out too. So it is really good. It's really good. I mean, I will admit the thought of me playing a bard did occur to me, but I thought it might be redundant. I mean, it's kind of like, wow, he's not even trying. He's just being himself. That's no. I mean, I just didn't think that would be a good idea. Didn't think that would be a good idea. So I wanted to try something new, and yeah, I've never tried that. I've played wizards and clerics and fighters and rangers and yeah, a little bit of everything, but I've never played a gnome, and yeah, this will be an interesting one. So we'll see. Should be a lot of fun. Uh, yeah. On that note, where they're asking about that I actually have free time. No, I don't. Leave me alone. Okay. Well, I guess that's a good stopping point there. And I'll just say, hey, thanks again for joining me today. Always a pleasure. Great to see all of y'all. And I hope to see some of you at Faire soon. And at the very least, see some of you during the Norman stream this weekend. I'll definitely be around on the Friday one. And I'll pop in now and then on the weekend. So have a great time. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. Take care.